Morning everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Wendy here from Little Nest Crafts. Thank you for joining me this morning, and here over in South Wales it's beautiful and sunny, a little bit windy, but I'm not complaining. Nice to see the sun shining. Today's video is another in the series that I'm doing for Suzanne over at Non-Stop Paper Crafts, using her Librarian kit, which is a kit that she's brought out for May, and obviously it's librarian themed, and it comes complete with 20 pages, but each week when Suzanne sets her challenge, she brings out extra pages or extra ephemera to go with the kit. So it's sort of an ongoing work in progress, because what I've done is I've produced, for those of you who haven't seen the previous two videos, I've made this little altered envelope into a little mini journal, and gradually I'm filling it up with little projects using some well, it's using all the elements in the kit, but adding some of my own bits and bobs. And off camera, the video that I did yesterday, I did give a flip through, but off camera I did another couple of additions where I put in the secret writing spots, and I finished them off with bulb clips, bits of lace, and little words that I'd made using my stamps. So I've put those in, and I added another couple that I made that into a tuck spot there. And what was the other piece I put in? I found that in my stash, and I thought it was a rather nice image to go with this gentleman on this side. It was sort of a grungy, and I've extended the page a little bit so you can write down there, but you can also write down here, or I could actually turn that into a tuck spot by putting something on the back of it and having a tuck spot going that way. We'll see what happens. We produced that envelope yesterday, and I thought, oh, there we go. What I did, I cut out some of the sentiments and words and things out of the kit, which comes like this, and as you can see I'm cutting my way through them gradually. And I thought, well, whoever purchases this little journal, I'll put in some of the words, and whatever's left over I'm going to tuck them in this. This was one of the elements that came with the kit, and I've made it into a little tuck spot, and I'll tuck the words in along here. And I am planning on doing a bit of where there's blank space, maybe do a bit of stenciling on the pages, on some of the pages anyway. And so this morning what I thought we would do is make some snippets to go along the edge of some of the pages, and use some of the stuff out of my stash. So I'm just going to move that to one side with my little journal there. And what I've done is I've gone and got loads of scrappy bits and bobs. Some of them might not go, you know, some of them are a bit floral. I didn't really want to be floral in this journal, but I've got loads of you know, I've just gone in and delved into the into my bag, and I've got lots of strips of paper, so I'm not too bothered. Like that one's got cotton reels, I'll put that to one side because I'm going to be doing a sewing themed journal very soon. And so yeah, I've got these bits left over, and these strips. So I think my pages, as you can see, aren't very, oops, sorry, I'm having a crafter lunch over there. So basically I want the strips just to go down the side of a page here, so I'm not bothered that it's white card. I can ink it up first, because we're going to be gluing all sorts of different bits of ephemera and things on the top, such as dictionary page and book page. So we shall do that now. There we go. So basically I'm going to get one of my strips, and in fact what I'll do, I'll start with one that's got some colour to it, just to help out a little bit. Where are we? There you go. Something that's a bit more substantial. That's card, so that'll give us a bit, make it a little bit stronger. So I'm just going to pop those to one side, and it's a little bit wider than what I wanted, so I'm just going to tear it actually, and we'll possibly make 2 strips out of it. And I'm just going to tear this white edge off, although I could have left it on because as I say, it's going to be covered up, and we'll tear a little bit at the bottom and a little bit of bottom there as well. Okay, and I'm not bothered if it's not exactly the same length as my page, because we can have them, you know, small ones, you know, just to tuck on the side of a page, either at the bottom or at the top. So you know, we can tear them in half. So all we need is a bit of glue. And what I'm going to do is ink these edges first, because I don't really want, you know, this little journal is going to be a bit of a grungy look journal. So I like me inking. Excuse my voice this morning, I'm all croaky. It's suffering with hay fever at the moment. It's getting my eyes and my throat, etc. Who would have thought that you would start getting hay fever when you're a pensioner? Right, so what we're going to do is, I've got some pictures here as well out of my stash, and I thought we might be able to use maybe a few of these. And we'll see how they go. Little envelope there. It's amazing what you accumulate. I thought there was a lady somewhere that I thought might look rather elegant. Yeah, I think it was her. She could be my librarian. And then I've also got some frames. Now, they're a bit gold looking, but that one might suffice, and the dark one. We might be able to do something with those. So I'll pop those to one side and see if there's anything we can do. And I'll pop her to one side. Maybe those, we'll see. And then I've got all these bits and bobs that we can tear up, you know, to add to our strips. So yeah, let's part with those two at the moment. Okay. And then I found these 2 library cards that have got a bit of something on, so I thought we could use those. And then I've cut up some of the words off the, as I say, off the words that Suzanne included in the kit, and I thought we could put some of those on as well. So I'm just going to move those over there. I don't think there's any more frames in there, is there? Oh, there is that one. There we go. So I'll put those on the top there, and those just out the way for a second, and we'll start just putting some strips on these. And I've got some cards. I'm trying not to put anything that's too big, that's a bit big. So we've got a butterfly there, we could put that on maybe halfway down. And I'm just going to move those to one side and come a bit higher up there, because I keep working. My arm doesn't stretch very far on the overhead camera, so I tend to end up sliding down my work table. Let's see what else we've got. There's another card there as well. So what we've got some little labels there, and we've got received, and we've got our librarian lady that we could perhaps put in the middle. I don't want her hanging over that edge too far, because I'm thinking that this is the straight edge. Maybe if we use this one for now, because that'll be along the edge of the page. And I'm going to trim that down a little bit. So sorry, my lady, but I'm going to come down your hands like that. That's better. So let's have a look. I'm going to tear this in half and cut the edge, and maybe tuck that under, just so there is a bit of a feminine bit. What's this one? That's a bit big, I think. And then we've got some numbers that we can pop on what we've got. Mary Shelley. So we could perhaps pop that down there. And we've got a butterfly there. And then something that says note on the top there. And then we've got maybe that could come down the bottom, a bit of a stamp. I'm just going to check my sizes. And we've got, let's have a look. So if that was going on that page there, we'll just have a quick peek. Yeah, that's perfect, isn't it? So we'll start sticking down. So you can just be free and easy with this, and you know, you can make them all different themes. I've done them in the past where I've just used flowers with a few sentiments and things stuck in to go with a, you know, a floral journal. With a sewing journal, you could put all your sewing implements, you know, like your cotton reels and scissors, you know, your paper scissors and things like that. You can, you know, you can really go to town and do them themed, you know, to match your journals. Or you can just be scrappy and go with gay abandon and, you know, just have muted colours, bright colours. You could have scraps of material. Just pushing her over a little bit more there, because I don't want that sticking out too far. And then quickly I'm going to lift that up just to put this underneath. Be nice just to see that rose a little bit. Yeah, so you can do, you know, do them to make whatever theme journal you're doing. Now then, where's the other titles? Let's find another title. Mary Shelley. And we've got, yeah, I could put poetry. Up on there. So you've got authors and can we pop that one down there maybe? Or over the top there. Let's make it so that the butterflies go in a similar way. Now these can be used as a tuck spot. Instead of using that hotel, I'm going to use the post stamp, but it just needs dampening down a little bit. There we go. I'll put it over that little gap there. And then we could have a number. Going across there. And what's this at the bottom? Yeah, we'll do that one. So there we go. So there's our little scrappy page edge or snippet, and I've just been a bit generous with the glue, so we'll wipe that off the back and wait for it to dry before I put it on the page. There we go. Oops. So we'll pop that on the edge of that page there, and I don't mind if it hangs off the page a little bit. And what we're going to do is make it into a tuck spot. So I'm going to go along there and up this edge and along the top there and along the bottom, and I'm just wondering if we've got a page that hasn't got anything on it. It's filling up nicely, this little journal. That's the back page. There we go. And then what we've got then is, let me just get one of our images of our librarian lady, and I think she looks great in there. So we can ink her. And then we've got these little page tabs somewhere here. Which we could put on the side there. Let me just see what the other ones look like. Excuse my arm, everybody. Yeah, I think we'll go for this one. There we are. There we are. And then we'll just ink to hide the white bits. We'll give it an ink around the bottom. There we go. And we'll pop her under there, just make sure it's not wet. There we are. So there's a nice little tuck spot there. And I think we'll do another one for another page. And I was hoping to find a little set of books. So I'll be right back. Right, what I've done is I've printed out this page so that I can take some books from it, and I'm just going to take off the white edging, although I am going to tear this, so this is a pointless object. So why are you doing it, Wendy? There we go. There we are. Okay. So what I want to do is maybe have this section go and have that over there. I'm just going to ink the back. Although that's not going to be showing either. So if I pop that there, maybe with that underneath. And maybe one of my numbers, or maybe that one. And then we'll tuck this bit of ledger under there, and I'm going to have H.G. Wells over the top there, and then we'll use the other half of this from my stash. Or maybe like that. So we've got a little rose poking out. And then, how about Gay Parry? Or maybe over the top there. Because they're books that you'd have in the libraries, aren't they? You know, about Paris and things like that. And then we've got a bit of greenery coming down there. Maybe a number across there. I don't know what I've done with my tweezers. No. So yeah, well, I think we'll pop that down. Pop this down. With our book. And HG, oh, I'm doing it again. Try not to go over the edges. Maybe take that over just a smidgen. I'd like to see a bit of that ledger if I can. That's just one of my swatches. Let's pop this on. H.G. Wells, maybe going along there, should we say? Yeah. Been a bit premature, I think, putting that one on. So we'll put some ink on there. I'll put this little swatch over the top. Oops. Trying not to hide my oh no then. Could go there, can't we? Like that. And then this one can dab on the bottom. And then pop. Do we want a number or do we want, yeah, let's put novel. Novel there. And then I might put something up there. Study, mystery. T.S. Eliot. Yeah, T.S. Eliot. There we go. So that's our other snippet. I'll just pop those to one side for a minute, and then pop my top back on my glue for a moment. And we'll just make sure that we've got no glue going to affect us. And I think I needed to overlap that a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is just put a strip along it there, just to strengthen where it's, because I think that's going to end up getting caught amongst whatever you're sliding in and out. So if I put an anchorage strip along the back there, do I need something on there? Yeah, that one needs gluing, but there's enough overlappage there to glue it down. But I could do the same putting that over just to give it a bit more leverage, a bit more strength. And you can't see it from the back, so it will help hold them together. And it uses your scraps. There we go. And then we'll find a page in our book. So I've got one in this signature. In the first signature we put that one in, didn't we? Where is it now? Hiding amongst there, and good job I checked it because it's stuck to the page, but no damage is done. It's not ripped anything. And we just make sure she can come in and out. She can. Although it does seem to be catching there, but it's not wet, so. And then we'll find one for this signature. And that looks quite nice because I think you can see it from out the page. So I think that's the perfect spot for it. So make sure we're gluing the right side. There we go. And make sure I'm not leaving any glue over the page because we've got an overhang here. So be careful of that, guys, when you're letting things hang over the edge of your pages. Like I've done there. Now, I could actually cut them off, but I don't want to do that, so I'm going to ink them. Just so they're not white. And just ink the edge of the page so it blends in a little bit. There we go. I'm just going to put a strip down there, just in case it does. Make sure we're all dry on the front, and then see if we've got another picture that we can pop in. And there she is with her husband, Mr. Librarian. So you actually could, no, you could put in that. Yeah, I might use the ephemera. That's from another ephemera piece, not from this kit. So, just wondering whether to have the lady again. It'd have been nice if there was a gentleman on his own, but I haven't got to hand anyway. Got lots in my stash, but What's in these? No, I like the lady and the gent. I was wondering whether to glue it onto there. No. Little ideas spring to your mind. So I'll take that out, pop that back in, and then I'll put in another library card with it. There we go. So that's it for today's little project, everybody. I hope that you've enjoyed doing the page snippets and that you've joined in. And it would be great if you would post, you know, if you are making anything along with the librarian kit, you know, please post it on the website over on Non-Stop Papercraft's Facebook page, and you know, you'll provide inspiration for others if they're struggling to think of what to do, and it just it helps to inspire people as well if they've lost their mojo, and it's always nice to share. So I hope that you've liked the project that I've shared with you today, and I hope that you will join me for the next one. So until then, take care of everybody, and I'll say bye for now. Have a great day. Bye.